Hi everyone. Hi. Thank you for coming here. I was just having a lovely laugh with my darling here. She always puts a smile on my face, and I hope that translates, as it comes across. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so happy you could be here. Thank you once again. And I've been reminded to just tell you or remind you about the book. Yes, my book on prayer. Check in the description below. You'll find more details. You can get it on Take a Lot and also on Amazon. It's a short book, a short daily devotional, and it's reflecting on how we go about our prayers. Yeah. So that being said, today I wanted to look at something about dryness, when there is dryness in our lives. Um, and it struck me as I drove home yesterday, all the trees around, they are so dry. They actually look dead, right? They're dry, they're brown, there are no leaves on them. They are just standing, right? Even though they are looking dry and dead, they are still standing. And sometimes we feel like that. We feel dry, we may feel like there's no more life in us. But the truth is that there is actually still breath in our nostrils. And so that's another opportunity to get up and go. And I'm so sure, as God would have it, that once we get the first rains, the leaves are going to start coming back. The buds are going to start budding, and we start having, greenness coming along into the trees, and all the dry stems and branches fades away, being covered up by the green leaves once again. And believe it or not, there will eventually be flowers on the trees once again, and we start hearing the birds singing as spring springs. So all this comes about by staying in their position. They don't say, "Oh, I'm dry, I don't have leaves, I don't have life, there's no birds on my leaves or my branches, and so I'm just going to jump into the sea." No, the trees still stand. They hold their position. And likewise, I feel that when we go through these places of dryness, we need to hold our position. We need to keep on showing up in what we are meant to do, in that role that we are, be it a fatherly role, a motherly role, a brother role, sister role, or you are in your place of work, what you're supposed to do, just get there and do it. Hold your position. It may look dry, it may look like there is no life going on around it, but truth be told, at the right season, when the rains would come and the leaves that are rooted, they would eventually bring up the water into the branches, and there will be leaves on the tree again. There will be birds coming and life and even shade giving under those tree branches all over again. So it's not a time to be despondent, but actually a time to stand firm. um, there is this saying that say, I've always wondered what it meant, and I don't know if I really know up till now what it means. Work to rule. It's almost the way I interpret it is like, just do what you're supposed to do. Don't do more than you're supposed to do, and don't do less, because the branches are dry, because there is dryness, but there is that position that you still need to hold. Hi, allow me to interrupt your video. I know you're enjoying it. I want to remind you about the Reflections on Prayer. It's a little book I wrote, it's a Bible companion, and you can get it on Take a Lot or Amazon. Get the link in the description below. God bless. It brings to mind the verse in Psalm 1, verse 1. It says that you will be like a tree planted by the riverside, and the leaves will not wither and will not dry, and then there will be many that would come on and take refuge even under those branches. So there is that time, right, when the tree, like in spring, in winter, when the trees may look dry, but it doesn't mean it is useless. It doesn't mean it is worthless. It doesn't mean it has nothing to offer. It has its position to hold. And in Psalm 1 verse 1, it says, if you will. I always like Bible verses that start with if, because it sort of spells out the instruction that you must do. It says, if you will do this, right, you will be able to, you will be like a tree, right? So then we must go and carefully study what is that I need to do so that I can be, right? And then with the root really going deep and being planted and firmly grounded in its position, it's going to stand firm in the dry seasons. Again, it brings me back to a thought I always have, that in the time of peace, we must prepare for war. So when there is abundance, when there is rain, when there is peace, right? When there is everything working in your own favor, in that time, you have to prepare for when there will be dryness. That is the time when you need to sit and pause and take in the word of God. Because the Bible tells us that the word of God is like a sword, is the sword of the spirit. You need to take that time to build in yourself the word of God, so that in the time of dryness, the sword of the spirit would be ready. The sword of the spirit that would help you to journey through that dryness will be imbibed in you, because there will be times when you don't even feel like reading the word of God. Like, is this thing really true? Right? So in that time when you have peace, when there is calmness, it's not the time to wander away from the word. It's not the time to go partying and go drinking, or go hitchhiking and just being all over the place, causing trouble, showing off, or doing things that are not desirable. That is the time that you need to dwell in the secret place of the Most High. That is the time that all is well. Let me just go and dwell. Let me go and sit at the feet of the Lord and take more in, so that when the troubles come and I need to be on guard, I need to stand like those dry trees that are standing on my driveway. They're just standing there. I don't even want to see them. It's like, why are you so dry? No flowers on you, no leaves on you. But what do? They stand firm. And I know in Ephesians 6, verse 10, it also talks about standing. We need to stand rooted. We need to stand prepared. We need to stand ready. And it stands, even as those trees stand, they stand ready for when the rain comes, when the bounty comes, so that they can spring forth. Right? And we look forward to that time of spring when all the birds are out and the leaves are coming out. There's so much excitement in the air. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you've enjoyed you're enjoying the channel. Please do like, subscribe, and share. God bless. Bye.